Hello there. I didn't even see you. Although I might add, how lovely it is to see you. Quick question for you. Are you one of these vapors that is looking to take your vaping experience to the next step? You've had your starter kit for a while now, but it's not quite packing in that punch that you want. Trust me, I know exactly what you mean, darling. But in that case, if you are in that position, then it just so happens that I may have the right thing for you. The Kangertech Mini Protank 3 EVOD Glass. Ooh. Now guys, with the reviews that I've been doing so far, you need to take into account that I'm used to using something a little bit more... That's just what I'm used to. So when something like this little bad boy comes along and I'm impressed, I would class that as impressive. Hugh at Viking E6 kindly gave me this, along with this cool as fudge t-shirt, which just happens to be a little bit too big for me because it's an XL, but shh, I'm gonna take it back later. And I was gonna get one that is the right size, you get me. But enough of that, let's get down to the real faux shiznay, not my crotch. Let's get out the Kangertech Mini Protank 3 EVOD Glass. You're also going to have to excuse the spots on my forehead. I've been vaping a PG based juice and that's not good for me because I think I have a slight allergic reaction. Remember, all juices are different, unique, and you could have a slight reaction to anything that's in those juices. There's only 4 chemicals in there, so to figure out what you may have a problem with, just take one out. Wait for the reaction to stop. Away you go. Just make sure that you vape a juice that is good for you and you don't end up with any of this kind of stuff going on. I've only been using PG based juices because I couldn't get to the store that I wanted to get my juice from, which is a 50-50 blend of both. Shut up, Tom! I want to see the EVOD! Okay, I'm doing it now, Okay, so when you pick up your Mini Protank 3 EVOD Glass, you can pick one up from the Viking E6 website. I think they're about £6.95, so it's a good deal at the end of the day. You will receive this box. Okay, it's quite small. If I put it up against my hand, you can see there, kind of size comparison. That's basically what you get, okay? You've got some information on all sides of the box. It's a little bit boring, if I'm totally honest with you. I like something that punches me in the eyeballs a little bit more, but it's just a box to carry it in and keep it safe. Okay, that's what you get when you get it out of the box. It's about the same size as the T3S. In fact, I think it's exactly the same. The tank is exactly the same. The other thing I love about this device, considering it's a small device, it's got that removable drip tip, so you can change the drip tip on it. You know what I'm like from my last video of changing drip tips and seeing the difference that it makes. And I'm gonna do the same again in this video, but not till later. There you go guys, that's the drip tip that comes with it. Simple one. Like I say, I like to change to the plastic ones. It's completely subjective. You may like the metal one that it comes with. I just prefer the plastic ones, but that comes with it, okay? It's nice, it's solid, it sits in there nice and tight as well, so it's up to you. The tank section, okay? You've got that cover on the outside, and then on the inside of that cover, you've got the EVOD Glass, which really makes a massive difference in your vape. When I compare this to using a T3S or a CE4, there's just no comparison. It is a whole world better. It's in a different league completely. It really impressed me. Got your steel hollow tube on the inside. Don't put your juice in there, okay? Like I said in the last video, that is the tube that all your vape comes up through. So if you start putting juice in there, you're gonna flood out the coil and the wick, and you're just gonna get a mouthful of juice, and no one wants that. Trust me, I've done it. But yeah, that's the tank basically. It's a quick 360 of it. This has really impressed me, I've got to be completely honest with you. I never thought I'd go back to using tanks after I'd got into RDAs and mechanical mods. But I haven't stopped carrying this thing around with me for the last week. I've absolutely enjoyed every single vape I've had off it. And there you have your base section. The bottom bit just here is the bit that screws onto the mod that you're using. And then this top here unscrews, like so that you can change your coil and your wick when it goes. The coil that you get with the EVOD Glass is a dual coil straight off the bat, so it's a mini tank with the dual coil in it, and how it works is the coils actually sit on top of each other in the coil tank. I doubt you're going to be able to see inside there, but inside there you've got your dual coil and your wick. If you can see it, you're just going to see one coil because they're actually sat on top of each other. That's the inside of it, and for me, it worked. Once you've had a look at your coils, if you like having a look at your coils, I do just to make sure they're all cool and everything, you just take that top section just here and slide it over, push it into place, and then that rubber ring just seals over the top of the coils to stop any juice from leaking out. It just goes straight back in, goes in nice and comfortably on the base plate, ready to go into your tank. I'll just build the tank quickly for you so you can see how easily it goes together. It's really, really easy. So you've got your base and your wick. Remember, tighten that wick in when you get it because the manufacturers do not tighten it up. They just place it in there and give it a couple of turns. So once that's nice and tight and in there, you get your tank, slide that tube into the hollow tube because obviously that's where your vape goes. Screw that on. Again, make sure it's nice and tight so you get no leakage. And then your drip tip, very, very simple. Onto the top there for you. And there you have it, a fully assembled Kangertech Mini Protank 3 EVOD Glass. Last thing, it does have the 510 connection on the bottom, so it will screw onto any of your Ego batteries, your Coolfires, your MVPs, anything like that. It'll go straight on there. I haven't had a problem putting this on any of my mods, mechanical or electronic. You're all set to go with it. I'm going to be vaping it on my iTaste MVP. I picked this up about a week ago and I've been using it daily since. I've gone from just carrying around my mechanical mod and RDA to carrying around my mechanical mod, my RDA, this, and my EVOD. I've also been using the Aero tank as well, which is a good piece of kit. But for now, I'm going to be using it on the iTaste. You can still use it on your Ego batteries and all of that. It's not a problem. It's got the same connection. So you're all good to go with your Ego batteries. I've just really been liking this over the last week. It's a really good piece of kit. Let's get down to it. I'm gonna vape it and see what it's like for you. So I got this set to 3.3 volts and 6 watts. Alright, so that's the lowest that it'll go to. Alright, so you can see off the bat that the vapor production is a lot better than any of the devices that I've reviewed at this low voltage and wattage. The taste, it's a bit tasteless at this setting. Just remember that this mod is there for people to mess around with, so you can mess around with your volts and your watts and you can get the experience that you want. Okay, so I've just bumped this up to 4.8 watts, and the reason I've done it to 4.8 is because if you are an Ego Winder user, that's the highest voltage that you can get up to. You don't have the variable wattage on there, but that's set to 9. Okay, so I've got 4.8 because that's the highest that you can use on your Ego Twist, and it saves you running out to go and buy one of these, which is more expensive, because this thing will work just fine on an Ego Winder. Let's vape it. That's nice. That is really, really nice. If I didn't want to spend much money by going in and spending 40 odd quid on getting myself an iTaste and I just wanted to get an Ego Winder or something like that, that is absolutely beautiful. I think that's nice anyway. It's not too strong for all of you newbies out there, but it still packs that punch that any vapor would want. 5 volts, 11 watts. Let's see what she does. This tank, for the price you're paying for it, is a good piece of kit. I would recommend this to any newbie vapor that have been on their starter kit and was looking to move on. I'm really, really impressed by it. So let's talk about the ins and outs of the vape. When I had it set to the lowest settings, right, which was 3.3 volts and 9 watts, I wasn't really getting anything from it at all. If anything, I was a little bit disappointed. But that's because I hadn't messed around with it yet. That's what this device is for. As soon as I started bumping the power up a little bit through the device and got it more into your Ego Winder ranges and that kind of thing, it was nice flavour. I got a little bit of a throat hit, which I like, but that flavour was really tickling my taste buds. And I like my flavour. I'm a little bit more of a vape whore, but I do like my flavour. It wasn't too strong, it wasn't too weak. For me, I would pump it up a little bit more. But if you were just coming off your starter kit and then coming into using something like the EVOD Glass, it was perfect. And remember, the volts were on 4.8. So if you go and get yourself an Ego Winder battery, you can set that voltage to 4.8 and get the same experience. When I punched the power up to full, the flavour relinquished, like it did in my last review. When you punch that voltage up, you get more vapour, but you get less flavour, because that flavour's been burnt away by those dual coils. But more vapour's being produced. It just depends what you like. So this made me ponder. I'm going to carry out one more test. I'm going to bump the volts all the way up, and I'm going to lower the volts all the way down, and just see what happens. I don't know yet, so when I find out, you'll find out. So I got my volt set to 5, and I got my watt set to 6. Let's see what happens. I'm tasting a bit more flavour, a little bit more flavour, and you pretty much get the same amount of vape production. It's a little bit less than when you've got those watts set all the way up as well, but it's still there. I quite like that, but me personally, I'd still bump those watts up a little bit. That's just me. Okay, so we've taken the EVOD apart, I've shown you all the insides, I've shown you how to put it together, I've put it on top of my iTaste MVP. Just remember, it will fit on your Ego devices, alright, and you don't need a beauty ring for it because it's already that slimline design. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off the drip tip that came with it, and I'm going to put my plastic one on there because that's what I like to do. But this week, I have the King Kong drip tip. I really like this thing, it's awesome. Again, thanks to Viking for giving it me. So there's the King Kong on top of the EVOD with the iTaste. I think it looks a little bit more shittery, but that's personal preference. I quite like it. You may not. All depends. I've got this set to the same setting as I did before when I had the really high volts but the really low watts. Just test it, and I'll do all the same tests that I've just done before as well. Let's get it done. That's really nice. It really is nice. That's really good. The flavour is just eating away at my taste buds. It's so nice. I don't know what goes on in that little ball, but it is good. Now I'm going to bump them both up to full. Volts on full, watts on full. Ah, you thought I was going to swear, but I didn't. Volts and watts set to full. Let's see what it does. I can taste it on the tip. I can taste it on the tip. Oh. Can't speak when I've got vape in my mouth, sorry. That is so nice. That is really nice. When you go and buy your tanks, pick up one of these King Kong drip tips. They are awesome. These are now both set to the lowest settings on volts and watts, alright? So let's see. Oh, that flavour is The flavour is just astonishing, it's so nice. It's all in that tip, I don't know what it's doing. Vape production's gone down a little bit, it's not as dense. But if you like your flavour, you can't go wrong, you really can't go wrong. Now for your Ego Winder users, I've got the volts set to 4.8 and the watts are set to 9. Let's see what it does. If that was oxygen, I'd happily breathe it all day. perfect. For me, that is beautiful. The throat hit is nice and warm. The flavour is absolutely fantastic. The vape production is good, you just saw for yourself. If you're moving on from your starter kits and you want to get something that's a little bit better, for £6 or £7, you can't go wrong with this thing. I really would suggest getting one of these King Kong tips though, just so you can test it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I do, and I recommend it to other people that haven't tried one. Most of the people that try mine out, they really like it and then they get one. It's just personal preference. This is just one last thing that I like to do because I'm used to RDAs and I'm used to mechanical mods. I'm used to doing lung inhales. You can do them with this device. It doesn't have the adjustable airflow on the bottom of the tank, but you have an adjustable airflow with your lips. And what I do is I can do a lung inhale with this, and I just create a gap on either side of my lips when I actually have the tip in my mouth. Dirty! But in doing so, it creates more airflow going to my mouth. And check it out, I've got this now set to both the highest settings, right? Check it out for yourself, this is a lung inhale. That is beautiful. To me, that is beautiful. I'm used to doing that though. You don't have to do it. Like I say, I just create that little gap on either side of the tip, and it really does kick out that vapour. You get the flavour as well. Quick side note, difference between a mouth to lung inhale and a lung inhale. Mouth to lung inhale is what you used to do when you smoke cigarettes. You take your draw, and then as you pull the cigarette away from your mouth, you inhale it. A lung inhale is when you get the device, stick it in your mouth, and then just breathe in. That is a lung inhale. You get absolutely everything. You get flavour, you get the vape production, you get the throat hit, you get the lung hit. It's endless. It's absolutely beautiful and a great experience. This is what you can produce with a mechanical mod and an RDA. Hear that burning away? It's just beautiful. And you will get there. Right then guys, thanks for watching. I've really enjoyed making this video once again. Thanks for all the views on my other videos as well. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram. Alright, remember I've got my competition going on there for the Kangertech Protank 3 dual coil. We've had a few people in there already with it. They're spreading the word. So make sure you get in with your shot. I'll see you again next week, alright? I've got a review coming up on the iTaste MVP. Great piece of kit, a little bit more complicated for all those people that have been using your vaping devices now for a while and you really want to move on to the next step. Make sure you tune in for it. Make sure you check out Viking e-cigs, okay? Great guys, very knowledgeable, they know what they're talking about, they will sort you out with everything that you need, including a cool ass t-shirt if you want it. So until next week, happy vaping! Oh, you're back. Well, as you're here, I may as well tell you. Next week, I will be announcing another giveaway. But this time, there won't just be one winner. You will have to tune in to find out what it's going to be about. Remember, happy vaping.